Welcome everyone to our Western Championship 2024 Spotlight. The cuber I have for you today needs no introduction, but his resume calls for one. So I'll go ahead and do my due diligence. 1. He's ranked 76th in the world for a 3x3 average of 5. He is ranked 29th and 24th in the world for averages of 4x4 and 5x5 respectively. He can solve a Rubik's clock in under 10 seconds. He has 15 gold medals in 3x3 for WCA competitions currently. He has 67 gold medals overall and has podiumed 190 times in 105 competitions he has participated in. He is also most well known as the coolest standing cuber in the game, Varun Mohanraj. Yeah.
Thank you.
Of course. Thank you so much for coming on this spotlight for us.
Of course.
Yeah. So I did want to ask you a couple questions, especially since you're registered for Western Champs. Could you tell me how you're feeling leading up to Western Championship 2024 and, where you're currently seated third in 3x3?
Yeah, I'm pretty confident. I hope to do well in most of the end by ends. My main events right now are about 3 through 6. So I hope to definitely grab podiums in those. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, you said 3x3 through 6x6, right? Like that's where your goal is? Got you. I actually did have some questions about you for that, so I'll ask you in a little bit. So what are you looking forward to the most when you head to San Diego for Western Champs this August?
Definitely looking forward to compete with really fast competitors. Having a good amount of competition's nice. And also, there's a lot of rounds for lots of events, so it would be nice to go grab some PRs as well.
Yeah. What's your current 3x3 PR? Is that 6:15 right now?
6.15, yeah.
Yeah, 6.15. That's dope. Sub-Mitch. I don't know if people watching will know what Sub-Mitch is at this point. Yeah, so could you tell me a little bit more what part of the Rubik's Cube intrigues you the most?
The ability that every solve is different, and yeah, the fact that every solve is different makes it less boring. It doesn't get boring as fast. There's always new things that can come up. Every time you learn a new alg, it can come up in a solve. And there's always something interesting about every single solve you do. So
I agree. I think the interesting part about it being completely random state is just such an unique thing. I think there are some similarities maybe with chess, just having this like strange position that's never been analyzed before. But for cubing, it's usually much easier in that sense. On that topic, Varun, I need you to tell me, do you know the ZBs?
Okay, so I know the entire U set and most of the T set. But yeah, there was a large portion of my time in cubing where I was pretty much known for just not knowing any algs. I think I finished OLL when I was like sub 8, so I was really slow on my algs, but now I'm sort of catching up. I want to finish the T set sometime soon at least. Maybe before Nats, that would be cool. Other than that, yeah.
Finishing the T set before NAC, North American Championships?
Oh, NIC.
Okay.
Right.
No. Just wanted to clarify your timeline. I was like, how long do you have? Since you mentioned that, I'm sure there's a lot of people who are watching who still believe that OLL is not the most necessary thing to learn. But now that you've learned it when you previously didn't and you were fast as is, have you changed your opinion on how important it is to learn OLL?
Oh yeah, I always knew it was important. I was just definitely procrastinating more than I needed to. I would definitely get it done before sub 10 to sub 12 at least.
Yeah.
I think that's a good time for him to get it done by.
Yeah, OLL fundamental alg set for sure. If you're trying to be an advanced cuber, you gotta know OLL. Okay, cool. So as a top tier speed cuber, Varun, what would you like to see innovated in the future of speed cubing as a whole?
Ooh.
You can think about it too, feel free.
Yeah, I'm gonna need a minute. Ooh. You. 'Did. Okay, I would like to see some more spectator involvement, maybe. I think that would be cool in the sense that it's not really publicized for spectators. I think more of this live streaming's great. Uh, just more competitive, or I mean, spectator-friendly environment and live stream would be cool. Um, on top of that, recently I've noticed a lot of like uh, results getting thrown around, like messed up, like miscrambles and just other things like that happening behind the scrambling table that get messed up when competing. I think getting rid of those somehow would be great because it would make it just more fair and more stable overall.
Yeah, those type of situations, they're really hard to
Yeah.
deal with at the moment.
Mhm.
And I agree, it's not an ideal outcome for anybody involved.
I
Um,
definitely don't have a solution to it or anything, but if that, could go, it would obviously be a pretty good improvement.
yeah, I think there's a lot of
Mhm.
interesting ideas that might exist, but
Mhm.
that sort of stuff definitely could use some innovation. I agree. Um, I did want to ask you um, maybe a follow up question to this, broadcast experience. Do you have a strong opinion about how live streams have been? Let's say for cubing as a whole recently, like there's a lot of different live stream productions. What's your opinion on some of the stuff you want to see?
Hmm. Some of the stuff I want to see, I guess we've been doing pretty good so far. I guess there could be more spectator friendly, I guess. Although there is commentary, more like maybe interviews during the comp, maybe during lunch or something when not much is happening throughout the comp, something like that, or even more like head to head or smaller events like that that are more spectator friendly. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. I like the idea of interviews. I think that's also why I'm interested in hosting stuff like this. I think more people
Mhm.
want to get to know people like you better, right?
Right, right.
Yeah, so I know your resume mostly based on how much you've improved in 4x4. I remember seeing you improve so quickly that was just jaw-dropping
Mhm.
to me. I don't know if that's how you feel, but that's how I perceived it.
Yeah, yeah.
For anyone who's looking for, let's call it non-traditional advice for how to improve in 4 and 5, what would you share with them?
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. How it worked for me, it sounds kind of boring, but it was pretty simple. Throughout quarantine, I just solved. That's all I really did, and just solving repeatedly. I think my session right now has over 5,000 solves for 4x4, or I mean for 5x5, and that's since quarantine, but it's still a lot of solves. And I I could when I started that session, my times were around a minute, and now they're at like 44-ish. So just solving decreased the times. Um, it's mainly just improving your fluidity without locking up a lot.
Yeah, no, for sure. Doing a lot of solves for me when I'm really invested in an event has a similar outcome. I think
Mhm.
that's the answer that is most realistic, but is also the answer that people don't want to hear. you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
but I think it's definitely
Seen it a
true.
lot.
Do you switch to Yao right on 5x5?
Yeah, I switched like 2017, 2018.
Yeah.
It's been a while, yeah.
Now that you've done Yao on 5x5 for such a long time, um, do you have an application for it in 6 and 7, or do you generally say reduction?
No, I've been using Yao on 6 and 7 as well, but I'm not as good at 7x7. I guess 6x6 I'm getting there, but yeah.
I think when you start to see Yao on 7x7, it starts to look a little ridiculous. But
Yeah, and it's definitely less good for 7x7. Like Redux is probably better for 7, but I think
yeah,
6 is where it's close between the two. I'd say it's definitely better for 4 and 5.
yeah, for sure. All right. So I did have one more question for you. What would you have to say to anyone who's watching this that isn't a speedcuber or hasn't attended a competition before?
Ooh. I would definitely buy a cube, follow a tutorial, and learn how to solve it, and just keep practicing because it'll definitely be fun once you start to practice. And once you start, you're gonna definitely get hooked, and you will keep going. And competing is so much fun. So definitely go to comps, and you will enjoy yourself.
Awesome. Yeah, competing is a
Yeah,
very unique experience. So if you haven't done it
100%.
before, go compete. Go compete. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for our Western Champ 2024 Spotlight. Varun, it's been a pleasure speaking with you, And
Thank you for having me.
yeah, we'll see you in San Diego.
Of course,
All
I'll
right.
be there.
All right. Thank you, Varun.